As I walked out in the streets of Laredo, as I walked out in Laredo one day, I spied a young cowboy all wrapped in white linen, all wrapped in white linen, and cold as the clay. I see by your outfit that you are a cowboy. These words he did. Hey, we got everybody coming in. Wolverine's here, and Diddley, and Indolindo, and Deuce, and Chrome, and Steve, and Marcus, and Mike, and Brandon. Oh, good, Marcus. I'm glad you got in for a stream. Megatronus 2. I think I could be a great. I don't know about me being a great YouTuber, but yeah, the big thing about that is we all know the difficulties in starting a YouTube channel and trying to create a following and everything. But if you're having fun, then all the rest of it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that it's hard to get a following or this, that, or the other, because you're having a good time with what you're doing. Hi, Jill, and Nico, and Noah, and Big Green, and Creek Squad, and David. Wow, we actually had some notifications go out, it would seem. When I wrestled, the name I used when I wrestled was Curtis Candy for the most part. I used some different names earlier on in my career, but once I stumbled upon, or just it was just something that randomly came to me, decided on the Curtis Candy gimmick, I stuck with it. That's why I use that name in like here and in any form of entertainment. I just grew to really like the character. Chrome says, been looking into it and it seems Funimation has pretty much given up. Sure does. A lot of people are struggling with their service now, me included, and apparently customer service doesn't care anymore. Yeah, you'll see, Chrome. There's a couple videos coming up at the at the Goosh where it was it was just ridiculous. I mean, that's just as classless as it gets, though. You're on your way out. Okay, that's fine. But people paid for the service and you just don't care about it anymore. No, we're going away anyway. Thanks for the money, but no, fuck you. Yeah, I see people got notifications, Xerxes. That shocks me. I never wrestled for ECW TG. I've wrestled some of the ECW guys. Chairman Mao says, Mao is here. Get communized. Oh, yeah, and now you guys too, a lot of you saw that. Now I just, this was just stunning to me. I was finally able, you guys know they took down my reaction to the Attic the 144, and they gave the channel a permanent warning because of the community guidelines atrocity. When I had gone back and forth with YouTube on Twitter about what happened, they had told me, they'd given me a timestamp at the end that it was at 12:12, but I didn't have the video anymore. I finally found a way to go back and get that video. I got it. The 12:12 timestamp, for those of you who didn't already hear this, was like a 3-second clip of a guy. Somebody opens the door to a room. Inside the room, a guy is swinging on a hammock. As he swings right into the door and hits his nuts on the door. And when he does, it immediately cuts to eggs cracking to make a funny commentary on him getting his nuts squished. And that is supposedly why my channel has an action taken against it. What community guideline did that violate? They can't even say it was promoting stupid pranks because it's not clear at all that was a prank. It looks like it might have been an accident. There's nothing there to state that insinuates that was even a prank. Not that would matter. I don't have the time, and certainly I don't necessarily have the money to fight YouTube. But man, I'd like to sue them, and I'd like to sue them for a significant, ridiculous amount of money based on the fact that now, because I'm unable to upload certain videos because I can't take a chance since they're targeting me, and they're obviously targeting me since everybody else can upload that video, that over the years between here and people that might come here and get recommended to the Goosh, to the Patreon, it's untold how much money they might cost me. I'd love to try it and just see if I could pull it off. Sue them for it. Smokey says Susan is just jealous because she doesn't have balls in her life. Those poor testicles died for nothing. Yeah. I mean, that was it, guys. They said it. I mean, YouTube told me themselves. They timestamped it. That's what they said was too egregious. So you have to have, your channel is permanently wounded because a guy was on a hammock and hit his nuts on a door. Chrome says, God, my G100 got out unscathed, but I saw Ranma vid and the latest Soul Eater got hit pretty hard. At least my next G100 is available on Crunchy. Weird to praise Crunchy given how bad they are. Yeah. Well, of course, your G100 isn't on Funimation either, Chrome, so we got lucky there. It's over, now for me anyway, over the last couple days, it's straightened out. But there were a few days in there that were terrible. He thinks it's a secret guideline about nut shots. I could even agree with that, Krusty, if there were, you know, if everybody else wasn't allowed to post that video. They're still up. If you do a search on Addict 144 reaction, you'll just see lists after lists after lists of people that did it. It is, Lude. I've said that same thing. It's really sad when pirating websites have a better streaming quality and stability than legit paid services. Yep, you're right. It is really sad. Oh, you guys are like this too. You know what I discovered? Not that this matters. Now that we do these streams, the streams of this nature, like the one today that Ask Me Anything and stuff like that, I monetize them. Because like, Susan, you want to come demonetize that? Who cares? There's nothing done in them that sort of demonetization. But you guys will appreciate this. The latest demonetization I had on the channel was for our Monday stream. What is our Monday stream titled? It says Monday Escape Stream. Yeah, Mondays suck. Come on in and have fun for a while. That immediately got it demonetized. Make no mistake about it. Susan does not want you guys having fun. Now stop. we can't monetize fun. How are you supposed to get advertisers for fun? Jeez. Samuel says, hey Curtis, here's something interesting. I saw this as a meme. Quick question, Goku or Saitama, who will win in a fist fight? No power, so superhuman strength, just combat skills. As I always say, I'm terrible at that. I'm not good at power scaling because I don't know enough or the intricacies of the characters as do so many other people. So I'm not a good one to power scale. Brandon says YouTube has become too woke. Susan needs to GTFO. Yeah. That's the problem though, Brandon. It's owned by Google, and Google is ultimately wants to be the wokest of the woke. Zeno says, I pay for Crunchy because I want to support the animation industry since the working conditions are horrendous, but then just go ahead and view it on a pirate site anyway for quality stability. That's sad. And I get you completely. And it's sad that it comes to that. It really is. Right. Chrome says Garfield is not welcome on YouTube then if we can't insult Monday. Oh man, I miss those Garfield cartoons. I always loved Garfield. I like Dilbert. I don't even know if Dilbert's still running. There was one years ago. Bloom County. Always like Bloom County. My cock is very small, but says, is there any younger guy that you know of that you'd like to put over if you ever did a return for a match? Oh, at this point, if I did a return for a match, I'd be happy to put over any younger guy that's been working it, working the business anyway. Because, there's no gain for me to take a win over somebody who's trying to build a career. So I'm certainly not trying to build a career at this point. So yeah, but and again, winning and losing never meant anything to me. It's all about telling the story. Lud says, issue is neither Crunchy nor Funimation actually help or support the original creators of the shows, so I never saw a legit point to using the legal sites. Might make a dick, but that's where I am. See, I don't know much about the ins and outs. I base too much assumption on how things are done in America, and you're not wrong. Once things become internationally involved, I don't know how they work. It's just something I always felt like I wanted to do. Ryan says, hey Curtis, have you heard about Vox Machina? I don't think so. I don't believe so. It's not familiar. Let's see. Kid Gara equals nuke plus level 1. I'm not following. Oh, power scales. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yokel's power scales. I gotcha. Hey, Frostborn from Serbia. Very cool. Yeah, I'm sure it is cool in Serbia. Mistress says it's not exactly fully true. Some of the money does go back to Japan, but how much I don't know. Krusty says, well, she ain't the fun police. Susan needs to get shafted. I don't volunteer as tribute. It's just, that was, I mean, leaping to that. Obviously somebody, and I'm thinking it's a frontline person at YouTube, doesn't like me, doesn't like the channel. But to make that ridiculous community guidelines infraction stick, that's what they went for. A guy hitting his nuts on a door, what appears to be accidentally. It's just stunning. It's beyond words. Goblinoid says, what would you do if you saw a goblin in real life? Probably shit myself. Run for my gun. Excuse me. Chrome says, you see Disney's latest comments on their Fast Pass thing, by the way? Some Disney customers simply have more money than time, while others have more time than money when defending price hikes. Chrome, with that Bob Chapek at the helm, he's the ultimate douche. He has made no bones about it. He's all about milking people for as much money as he can. He said specifically he wants a certain kind of guest there. The guest that has enough money to stay on their property for at least a week or so and will basically imbibe in everything Disney. He wants to discourage day-to-day, the daily park guests and things along those lines. He is trying to make Disney a place for the elite. It's stunning. It really is. AZN says, ever see Seikon no Quasar? Nope. Has the most ridiculously crazy storyline ever. And you might like it for obvious reasons, but it gets real fast. Sounds, I might have heard the name possibly, because it didn't sound entirely foreign, AZN, but I don't know anything about it. But yeah, everything you guys have brought to me so far have been just fantastic. Goblinoid says a Disney princess can milk me. Oh, okay. Lute says, yeah, me and Phil brought Vox Machina up a little while ago. I thought I remembered the name. Be a fun series to react to. It's an Amazon animated series based off the Critical Role D&D campaigns. Very Castlevania-esque dialogue. Oh, that is a major endorsement, because Castlevania's dialogue is crazy good. Arthur says, I don't know, Curtis. Footage of trauma makes the person relive the suffering every time it's replaced. The poor man's balls suffer every time you watch it. It's got to be it, Arthur. It's got to be it. And must be, I think it was probably just me, because I took such delight in the suffering of his testicles. Fuck off, Chain. I didn't watch all the other reaction videos. Maybe they didn't laugh as heartily as did I. And that could be Susan's rationale. Yeah, like Susan has a rationale. Gabe says Dr. Seuss cheated on his wife for 13 years while she was battling cancer, and then married his mistress after she died. He really said one bitch, two bitch, dead bitch, new bitch. Oh, man. Yeah. Oh. Is there, Garment says, is there a chance you would watch Rurouni Kenshin, otherwise known as Samurai X? Like I said, Garment, what we watch, the large part of what we watch over at the Goosh at the Patreon is voted on. Oh, we're going to be having votes coming up really soon, in nominations and polls at the Goosh. So it's all up to them what they vote in. Noah says, hey Curtis, any advice for basic workouts and diet for those who want to get into wrestling but struggle getting fit for it? I also want to suplex my brother. As far as me now, like right now I'm cutting weight again. I've got to just live life at a lighter weight than I have been. For me, it's always been, and not too many people will promote this to you because there's no money to be made off it. It's balance. If you eat a good balance of the nutritious ingredients you need and keep portion sizes under control, that to me is the best diet. And as far as training, make sure you want to do a lot of cardio, because wrestling, I mean, you will tire during a match. There is a lot of cardio involved in wrestling. A lot of cardio. For me, that's why I always work the traps, because that's the only defense, natural defense you can build against all the trauma your neck's going to take. But weightlifting just gets, basic weightlifting, get strong. Don't worry about bodybuilding. You just want to work for strength. Do sets that are 8 to 12 reps to failure, chest, arms, back, that type of thing. And like I say, plenty of cardio, because it gets tiring in a hurry. Pizza Man says, thoughts on the live action One Piece cast? Chrome and I were talking about it over at the Goosh. I'm not overly impressed. None of the cast made me go, yep, that's that character. My thought is, I was telling Chrome, I don't think it's going to be good. And to be honest, I have no interest in seeing it. I won't even bother with it unless you guys were to come to me in any significant number saying, no, you have to see it. It's really good. Outside of that, I probably won't even bother with it. Arthur says, happy that you're enjoying Jobless. Worried you wouldn't. No, it's well written. It's very well written. It's a good story. Are there cringe moments in it? Sure. But again, as I said, that's one of those things that to watch a show or an anime like Jobless, you have to suspend reality anyway. It's not reality based. So that's what you have to look at when you have those cringe moments. Like, okay, this isn't really happening to anyone. So Chrome says, when Bob Chapek was their CFO, Christine McCarthy, she's the one who talked about reducing portion sizes and it'll help customers' waistlines. I'm going around October, but I hate these people. Yeah, well, she's a direct representative of Chapek's, Chrome. Yeah, they've said a lot of horribly obnoxious things, and they don't care. They do not. Chapek's and his crew has no fucks to give about the customers. That's why you haven't heard me talking about it. The only reason we'll still be going to Disney is my wife adores it, and I'm not going to cut her off from it because I hate Chapek. But we have no plans on going anytime soon, and I did drop my annual passes. It's like, nope, no more, sorry. It's gotten ridiculous. They've taken away a lot of, I always said what drew me to Disney was the cast members, which are still phenomenal, and the atmosphere. I just like the atmosphere down there. And under Chapek, it's changed. Jack says, when you're preparing for a match, are you more of a call it as we go or a pre-match caller? Also saw one of your 2009 matches you make taking clothesline look brutal. Best worker, never to work a major promotion. Well, thanks. That's nice of you to say. It depends. A lot of it depends on who you're working with. If I was working with somebody close to me, my buddy Dave, Haas, any of the guys, Mike, any of the guys that I worked with over and over and were close, you just put together an outline, because you work together so much, you get to know each other so much, you're always on the same page, and you could talk together so well, so easily without anyone seeing it, that there wasn't need for a lot of pre-planning, other than, again, beginning, ending, couple little high spots. If you're working with somebody new, I try to lay out a little bit more, because I don't know, I don't know this person. I don't know how good they are with working on the fly. So you try and lay out a more of a roadmap for them, especially if it was somebody younger, somebody newer in the business. But yeah, it all depended on the individual. Now, my buddy Haas and I, who both love doing the hardcore shit, we had matches where we didn't even put together, I can't even say we put together a beginning and an end. We put together the end, who was going to go over and how, and then we would just beat the shit out of each other, because it was hardcore anyway. We didn't call anything. We just pummeled each other. And a lot of that, I mean, we beat each other as stiffly as you could and both still survive. So it all depends. It all depends on who you're working. Chimera Yuri says there's an anime about a professional wrestler who gets teleported to another world, but when the princess asks him to kill all the monsters, him being an animal lover decides to German suplex her instead. I love when the German suplex is like a thing in anime. You know what, guys? I like that. Arthur says, Antis have traumatized me to the point I actually find myself not wanting people to watch shows I like to avoid socio-political complaints about it. No, like I say, Arthur, again, when you're watching anything, and you guys know me, I get right into the stories, into the characters. That's the fun of watching, is to involve yourself in it. But even given that, when push comes to shove, you still need to be able to depart yourself so you can enjoy it. I mean, if we were to take everything that we watch in fiction and not be able to separate it at all, you'd never be able to watch anything, because there's so many egregious, horrible things that happen that if they were happening in real life, you wouldn't want anything to do with it. And, as you and I were talking about, the cringe moments in Jobless, that's part of that. Is it, like I say, is it a little creepy? Yeah. Does it really matter in the grand scheme of things? No. Yoko says, Rinnegan Obito bodies Pain just like Pain bodies Orochimaru, as hard as Orochi bodies Meruem. I love Meruem. Yeah, it gets really tough when you start doing cross-series power scaling, too. Chrome says, I'm still looking forward to Disney this year. Oh, you should, Chrome. Don't let that ruin it for you. But the more I see these stupid comments, the more I get concerned. Epcot and Magic Kingdom should still be fun, and Florida is always relaxing. You'll have a good time, Chrome. I shouldn't disparage it as much as I do, because the main reason you'll still have fun, Chrome, the employees there can't be beat. How they manage to do it, I couldn't tell you. But so many employees you talk to, even the videos you see on YouTube from ex-employees, so many of those employees love it. Love working, and it comes through. And they're the ones you have interaction with. But over all the times we went, 90%, a solid 90% of all the employees, all the cast members you'll interact with, have positive personalities, are fun, and they'll make it a good time for you. And things are already starting to come back. By the time you get there, it should be in pretty good shape. That same person you were just talking about said the other day that the character meet and greets will be coming back soon. She didn't say specifically at what level. Is it just the costume characters or what it's going to be? But she did say they were coming back, and that's a big part of it down there. Arthur says, if Orochimaru was real, I wouldn't leave my house. And I would say that's an excellent philosophy to take if Orochimaru were real. Snake bastard. Chimera Concept says, have you listened to Nerdcore on YouTube, anime music? Could be good reactions for your channel. What do you mean as far as there's some anime songs? Well, like I have some songs from anime that stay on my playlist all the time, if that's what you're talking about. Like, what do I have on there right now? I like a lot of you guys, I'm sure. I go through different playlists right now. The ones I have that are on my current playlist would be, I've got Hunter x Hunter Departure. I always have that on. Her name is Coco. She is loco. I love that. Angel Beats is opening. Konosuba's opening. Bink Sake, Galactic Mermaid from the Mermaid Sisters, and the Boom Boom Satellites Lay Your Hands on Me. Those are the ones I have in my mix right now. So yes, I love anime music. Garrick says, does the fact that Disneyland or Disney World having a dark history bother you? No, again, like I say, Garrick, you can't really, for me, if you're going to enjoy yourself, you can't really get that deeply into it. Whenever you have an issue by going to the parks with something Disney has done, and Disney's one of the most litigious, obnoxious corporations you'll ever come across, second only to places like Google, you have to look at it as, when I go there, it's something that my family and I enjoy, and it helps to support all those people that work there. That's the way you got to look at it, because the people that work there are phenomenal. They're great. And A lot of people say Disney doesn't pay enough. That's not for me to decide, but I do know that a lot of them really enjoy their jobs. So that's why I look at it. Jack says, Yu Yu Hakusho doesn't play no more on your Patreon. Really? When I joined, it was the first anime reaction I tried to watch. Did you enjoy the series overall? Yeah, I loved it. Now, Jack, don't forget, it comes in an email you get sent when you join. I think you might have got caught up in that. Remember, we had our what's the name of that video company? Our Vimeo account closed. So all those links won't work, but they've all been re-uploaded. So if the UU links aren't uploading, just use the download tag. If you search the download tag, that's where I put all the re-uploads, and UU will be there. You should be able to see it. Arthur says, did I just hear Mario Kart in the background? I don't think so, pal. I don't even have, the only thing we have kart on is the Switch, and Spaz Kid's got that with him at school. So if you were to hear a Mario sound in the background while I'm around, it would likely be kart, though. That's my favorite. A lot of the Samurai Champloo reactions are lost. Now, those are different, Wolf. Those those aren't lost. I have them, but it's on a disk drive, a portable disk drive with 1,550 unmarked videos. I've got to go through all of them, figure out what they are, and then find the ones that didn't get re-uploaded. And what I was down to just a few of the sponsored series when that happened, and that's why those aren't up there yet. I have them. It's just a matter of getting the time to find them in that mess. Chimera Concept says, it's original music attributed to anime characters. Divide Music and Favell are great channels for nerdcore. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, anything anime is something that tickles me. It tickles me. First Wave Negativity says, one video which seems to have disappeared because of the Vimeo thing is your voice reaction goose. That's very sad. That should be in that same pile. It should be on that same drive somewhere. Again, I was going through all the major, well, not even major, but I was going through all the regular day-to-day anime first, getting them all put back. Then I was going through all the Gusher 100 vids, and I got most of them put back, and that's when it crashed. So some got left out. Gimster says, well, we Canadians only got about 7 foot of snow this past winter. A bit too light for us. Yeah, way lighter than what you had told me about last year, Gimster. Was waiting for real snowfalls, but it never came. We didn't get shit at all here. Now that I think back, and it's not necessarily over. Well, you know Gimster better than me. We'll still get snow in March sometimes, but we had 2 storms of any significance the entire winter, which is nothing for us. We had, I think the first one here we got about 4 or 5 inches. And that last one, the more recent one, maybe 8 to 10 inches. And that's it. That's really slow. Hit me, Poppy. She says, I had a question. I'll watch for your post. And Arthur says next post. Oh, it's right there. Oh, it's the sound that plays when Stream Boss takes damage. Oh, it's very faint, but it sounds like the Mario Kart menu select. I got you. Yeah, that's because I'm using the these headsets don't go in your ear, they go on your ear. The only reason I can't use them, because they're way more comfortable, can't use them for recording videos, is the Bluetooth from my PC gets interfered with by the router and modem that are right over here. So I can't use them because the sound isn't consistent enough. When I'm just using it to hear when something, like you say, excuse me, when there's been a trumpeting of something happening here, then I can use them. Poppy says, how would you, okay. It looks like, Poppy, how would I say this, she's asking. I would say, it's, well, I know sclerosis, but tubular sclerosis, I would say. Totally tubular. Hi, Em. Hey, Curtis, what are your three proudest moments in life? Oh, I don't know. Cool. Obviously, my proudest moments wouldn't be things I've done. It would definitely be things in my family. The things like I say, it just it's my hierarchy. It's like up here, the trophies and stuff that I have as memorabilia that go high on my shelves, and over here is all stuff Spaz Kid accomplished. I mean, I'm proud of some of the stuff I've done, but it's not a big deal to me. The things I'm most proud of are the things my son and my family have done. Philip says Netflix has the same studio that made the dumpster fire that was live action Bebop working on One Piece. That I heard Chrome was telling me. If Bebop was here, Hiroshima, this is going to be a SAR bomb level bomb. Yeah, I have no interest, no desire to see it. The only way, and I said this earlier, I'll end up watching it is if it comes out and you guys come to me saying you have to see this. It's really good, and I doubt that's going to happen. But I have no interest in it. My cock is very small. Says, Curtis, do you think Hogan is the worst top guy in wrestling history? Okay, by worst, I know what you mean. Worst actual wrestler. Because, I mean, he was a great entertainer. Worst top guy? I don't know. I think Warrior was an even worse worker than Hogan. It's always amazing they got together and actually created a good match. Two of the worst workers ever. Yeah, if you mean just the high level guys, because you had people like Giant Gonzalez, that was an absolute joke. He was horrific. Uh, yeah, it'd be tough to come up with too many that were worse. I told you guys when I first I knew of him because I used to read all the wrestling magazines and stuff back in the day. So I knew of they call himself the Incredible Hulk Hogan at the time. But when I first watched him, was taking the belt from the Sheik, and you're watching the match, and Hogan hits the leg drop, and I'm like, all right, there's a leg drop, and he goes for the pin, and Sheik doesn't kick out, and it's like, that was his fucking finisher. we teach guys the freaking leg drop on the second or third day of wrestling school, and here's this big old monster, and that was his finisher. It's like, oh, guy's skilled, talented. You have to see it. It's really good. Okay, Arthur, hold on. I gotta go back. We're getting because we got so separated there. Oh wait, we were talking about Stream Boss taking damage. So which one are you saying that I need to see? Oh yeah. Oh no, you're making a joke about the One Piece. Okay, I thought you were being genuine, Arthur. I'm like, wait a second, because we go all over the place in conversation. I'm like, what did we talk about that he's saying I gotta see? Chrome says Netflix is starting on live action video game adaptations as well. Like I told you, they're doing a Bioshock film, and it's pretty much just going to be a rant on Ayn Rand. They're planning others as well. Yeah, well, Netflix is so woke. Most of what they create is going to be garbage, I think. Grandmaster Expired says, that's a good name. As a parent and grandparent myself, I do second you, Curtis. I was always proud of my chess career. When my first child was born and began achieving things on his own, I couldn't be prouder. Yeah, I'd always told Braxton since he was little, I don't care what I've done in life. I hope he's able to surpass me in everything. It just makes me happy. We went, as a matter of fact, I was talking about that. We went to the arcade. He was home last weekend, and he went up to get a haircut. We had some time to kill after he got his haircut, and there's a little arcade there. So him and I always loved arcades. We go into play in the arcade. It's the first time, he's 22 years old now. It's the first time he dominated me in every versus game up there. He beat me at air hockey, and then there's a bowling game there, a video bowling game. He beat me 2 out of 3 in that. And then there's a side-by-side car racing game. He beat me by 11 hundredths of a second in that. Complete wipeout. I was treated like a bitch that day. Yeah, right, Arthur. Netflix is so woke that they never took down cuties. Well, I think that tells you about what they see as acceptable to the woke crowd. Pax says, do you think WWE puts too many people in their Hall of Fame? I feel like almost every recognizable wrestler from WWE eventually gets in if they last more than 8 years in the company. Yeah, I think Pax, too, with it being, it's not even a physical Hall of Fame. So I think they just do it to try and make sure every year at the inductions at WrestleMania, it just generates a little more heat for them. Chairman Mouse says, red sun in the sky. Krusty says, a man walks into a magic forest and tries to cut down a talking tree. You can't cut me down, the tree complains. I'm a talking tree. The man responds, you may be a talking tree, but you will die a log. I guess we really were a Curtis the Spaz gamer. Yeah, it was bad, Lex. He whooped my ass all day. It was fun though. That's the best time I've had in a while. We really had a good time that day. Johnny says Hogan's only good match was Rock at X7. He wasn't great technically, but his psychology was masterclass. Yeah, that's what I mean. Hogan, and I'll give him that. He had some good matches. I've always said I'll never understand how that Hogan versus Warrior match ended up being so good, because they were both the drizzling shits as workers, but that match was good. But I guess it's one of those things that if you throw enough shit at the wall, some of it'll stick. Smiling Friends, I've seen a few episodes, Connor. Excuse me, sorry guys. Brax really likes it. So when he was home, he put a couple episodes on. Yeah, it was funny. It was really funny. Excuse me. Chrome says the anniversary stuff for Disney should be cool as well. It is. There's a lot of good stuff. And I'll have plenty of spending money. Very good. For souvenirs, clothes, food, Epcot Japan, and whatnot. Yes. Yeah. Well, Chrome, of course, you'll love Epcot Japan. I'm hoping, too, you coming later this year, I think you're going to time it just about right, because I may have mentioned to you all the countries, but it's most noticeable in Japan because they have the best store. But all the countries were having so much trouble, getting stuff over here with the supply chain the way it is. So the Japanese store was way, way down on stuff. Now, the last time we went, it had gotten a little better. So I'm thinking by the time you get there in October, hopefully they'll be able to get stuff in big numbers. I wish they'd open up. They also have in Japan, if it comes back, Chrome, they have a little section where you can pick out an oyster. They open it up. Or is it, what is it? Pearls are in oysters or clams? Clams. You pick out a clam just by random. They have a tank of them. You pick it out and there'll be a pearl inside. And then there are things you can buy to put the pearl in and everything. But the way they do it is like a whole little demonstration. And it's really cool. And I guess there have been some valuable ones in there. I guess like black pearls, I guess, are the valuable ones. But that's what we were told. They found some really good ones in there. My wife's done it a couple times. Some other people that came with us, my daughter did it one time. It's a really fun thing. It's been gone since the pandemic. I'm hoping it'll come back. Arthur says, can you imagine an anime about Attitude Era WWE? Yeah, Attitude Era was great. If it were done right, that could be great. Oh, Philip says, ordered some more shirts. T Public had a sale on today. Oh, they did? I usually always get a text from them. I didn't get one. Got a replacement for my Goblin Slayer shirt. Berserk, Revi, Ainz and Nabe, Nafume, and Raftalia. Oh, good shirts. Krusty says, my boss said to me, you're the worst train driver ever. How many of you derailed this year? I said, I'm not sure. It's hard to keep track. Oh, Krusty. Excuse me. Geraldal Marie Gray says, speaking of Japan, has anybody else heard about the giant spiders coming over to the East Coast from there in May? I haven't heard anything about. I don't know what that's about. Stormstar says, I don't understand the Warrior Award. Agreed. I get the premise. But aside from being the ultimate lazy prima donna in wrestling, he was a sexist, homophobic excuse for a human being who wouldn't meet Make-A-Wish kids. I completely agree with this Stormstar. I, I'm not going to lie about somebody just because they passed. I never liked Jim Hellwig. I never had any respect for him. I don't get it at all. Chrome says, I hope by around October things are back to normal. I think they're going to be really, if not entirely back to normal, really close, Chrome. We're considering doing that fancy tasting menu at Epcot, Japan. I'm really curious what I'll end up getting. I've got a Grand and Pound say, oh, very good. You'll have such a good time, Chrome. And again, we'll talk more and more as it gets closer. I'll give you any, because I stay up on all that stuff. I'll give you all the tips, the best ways to save money and stuff. You'll have to decide how much of the new Fast Pass thing, its name always got me, the whatever plus. It's terrible. But if you're not clear on it, it's really muddled how it works. I'll explain it all to you. You don't have to buy it for every day you're there, but I can tell you what I believe anyway, is worth the money and what is not with it. Thomas says, what was the name of the shrine that you took us to when you were practicing for Disney? It's called the Orisville Shrine. Because in Orisville, New York, it's just, Orisville is a nothing. I mean, there's basically no population to it. It's just right along Route 5S in Montgomery County in upstate New York. But it's a beautiful shrine. It's gorgeous, Thomas. It really is. You guys know me, I'm not a religious sort, but that has nothing to do with it. The place itself is stunningly pretty. Gabe says, I once ran for class president against a boy with terminal cancer. I know I lost due to the sympathy vote, although in retrospect, I did run a very negative campaign. Vote for me, I won't abandon you later. Come on. That's awful. Population 0, pretty much Big Green. There is no actual, village or anything. That area of Orisville is just, there are some houses along the roads. That's what it amounts to. There's no coming together of anything. The only thing is, if you're asking Thomas because you're going to be up that way, if it's in the summer, it's only open during the summer. Just down the road, there's a little roadside place called Karen's. Good place to stop in if you like junk foods. Burgers, dogs, all that stuff. The ice cream there is really good. That's a fun stop right there. First Wave Negativity says, yeah, the regional differences suck. Then excuse me, I'm sorry, guys. Then again, Netflix did fuck all to promote it. A lot of people didn't like it, though. It was a Charlie Kaufman film, so immediately that turns off a lot of people. Pax says you should see, excuse me, some of Hulk Hogan's amazing lies. He once said that Elvis Presley would watch him wrestle, despite the fact that Elvis died before Hogan debuted. Oh, nothing. Like I say, I'm not a Hulk Hogan fan by any stretch. I think he's a weird dude, too. So, yeah, nothing would surprise me. Arthur says, I feel like autism is overly diagnosed. I don't know about that, but I know a problem we have in society is too many people, it's really kind of sad, want to be a part of something, even if it's a malady. Because you'll see there's so many people out there that really struggle with different mental health issues. And I swear, if somebody brings it up in any type of forum, you have so many people jumping on the bandwagon, and in some cases it's just for the attention, and it's a little scary sometimes the way people are. Oh, cool. Yeah, Thomas says, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm looking to be up that way in May. A friend of mine has a thing at Fonda Speedway. Well, I can tell you now. If you're at Fonda Speedway, Thomas, if you leave the Speedway and you make a left, you'll go over the Mohawk River, the bridge. You go straight through that light, left at the flashing light, and that's the road that takes you to both. You'll hit it's about 3-4 miles to the shrine, and then it's just a stone's throw further down the road to Karen's. So again, if you like that kind of, like I say, junk food stuff, Karen's is really good. And the shrine is gorgeous. As you get to the shrine, that sits way off the road, but you'll see it upcoming. And if you miss the first turn, there's a second turn that'll bring you up to it. Oh, really? And now, I'll say Marie Gray because I don't want to mispronounce the first name. Thankfully, the spiders coming over from Japan aren't dangerous to humans. Their fangs are too small to pierce our skin. Well, they're dangerous to some humans because all my wife needs to do is see a spider, and there's always the real legitimate chance she has a heart attack. So, really, that doesn't surprise me, to be honest with you. M says, my best friend works as a speech therapist, and she confirms that autism is overly diagnosed, lazy diagnosis. Yeah, I think that happens a lot. I think that's why so many kids end up medicated that shouldn't be. I mean, I know that attention deficit disorders, for example, they're a real thing, but I think those get overdiagnosed as well, too. I mean, sometimes a kid doesn't have a disorder other than being a little hyper, and there's a difference between being unable to concentrate and being unwilling to concentrate. And I think a lot of that stuff gets overdiagnosed. My cock is very small. It says, I know people love the Attitude Era, but for me it was the least shit era of WWE. When you watch tapes from the territories, WWE's cartoon wrestling is horrible. Well, it depends on what you like, in fairness. I know what you're saying. I completely get you. But it all depends. You know, that's like anything else. Any type of entertainment is always open to an individual's preferences. Excuse me. Oh. Chrome. She says, how would Mrs. Spaz react to spiders flying at her from the sky? She is terrified of them. It's almost comical. It really is how scared of spiders she is. She would freak right the fuck out. Oh, I did pronounce it right? Gyarados? Gyarados it is? Okay, cool. I always try it. I don't like to mispronounce things on people, but sometimes I just swing and miss. Stormstar says, I'm the least arachnophobic out of my group, and I'll burn the house down if I see one. Can't get a mortgage for shit now. Hey, Morgan. She says, I am super late because I've been working, but hi, I need a vacation. Understand, Morgan. I will keep you guys posted. We may have something big going on in my personal life this upcoming year. Don't know for sure yet, but I will keep you guys posted on it. Because what I was going to say is, with Chrome already being on her way down to Disney, I was thinking it would be cool if I could, because that's a good time of year to go, if I could set up a trip for my wife and I then at that same time and just announce it here and say, okay, listen, anybody that wants to schedule a trip that can at that time or is in that region, we'll all meet up at X point in Disney World on X day. But I can't make any plans like that yet because I would like to do it way in advance so everybody can know. But I can't make any plans like that yet because we might have some pretty big stuff going on. Poppy says last post. I'll explain the last bit. Okay. Let's see. Poppy says I'm autistic, a seizure sufferer. I know you told me about your seizures. I have sad social anxiety disorder, brain tumors. Need I go on? And that's what I'm talking about, Poppy. There's and that's, I think too, it sometimes takes away from the fact that some people have real legit issues, as do you. And like others were pointing out, between lazy diagnoses and some people, for whatever reason, just being so sad that they want to like cling on to somebody else's issues, it's kind of weird. Arthur says, next post, based on the test, introverts equal autists. I took a test and apparently me and all my friends would be diagnosed Asperger's. Yeah, see, that's, I agree with you guys. I mean, I'm have no no medical background at all, but from what I see, it certainly makes sense to me exactly what you're saying. Alex says, have you ever been to Coronado Springs? It's funny you say that, Alex. There's only a few that we haven't stayed at. We have not stayed at that one yet. I have been to it, because we checked them all out to see where we want to go. Coronado Springs looks like fun. It looks like a good one. I like the pool there. But I can't give you any too in-depth details about that one because I visited it, but I haven't stayed at it, and it's one of the few we haven't yet. That is one of the moderates. Our favorite, it's hard to say, depends. We really like, and we haven't stayed at that one in a long time. We like Caribbean Beach. We like, yeah, Port Orleans Riverside is another moderate we really like. As far as the value ones, we like the Pop Century. I think Pop Century is easily the best of the value resorts. Chippy says, in Australia, the spiders have their own political party. Oh, shit, Chippy. I'm not kidding you. My wife is always, she has a lot of places in the world she'd always wanted to go. And I still hope to get her at least to some of them at some point. She saw some videos and pictures I showed her from Australia about the spiders. And then I showed her the picture of the spider fields that look like snow, the cobweb or the spider webs. And then I showed her one of this giant ass spider jumping off a cabinet at the guy who was holding the camera. She won't go. And I don't mean she said that, in a hyperbolic manner. She's dead serious. She saw those spiders. She said, there's no fucking way. No way she will go there now. Genie Plus. Thank you, Chrome. The name always got it on my head. You mean, so how does that work? Can you reserve rides on the app instead of having to wait in a queue? Yes. I've been on holiday in like 3 years because of the pandemic. Yes. What it is, Chrome, it's really muddled. Disney makes everything so difficult sometimes. So what you do, Genie Plus, if you buy it for the day, it's $15 per person that has it. Now, as soon as you buy it, that'll let you make a reservation on, one ride for that day at the park you're going into. Then 2 hours later, after you ride the ride, you can make another. Now, in each park, there are 2 rides that are the elite rides. They are not included in the basic Genie Plus. Those you can also make a reservation for, but that's an extra added expense on top of it. So there are some where if you really want to go on the ride, it's worth it. Like if you want to go on Rise of the Resistance, and I highly, highly recommend it. It's a phenomenal ride. You want to use your Genie Plus. It's going to cost you probably about $25, $26 a person total. But it's well worth it because the line is going to be, at least now, 2.5 hours. We'll see what the crowds are like when you get there. Then there are others like the Yeti coaster. I always forget the name of it. But the Yeti coaster is part of it. Don't waste a dime on that. You can stand in line at that at given times of the day almost every day, even when it's busy, for 30 minutes or less. So you got to be really careful about where you spend your money if you're going to use it. There are a few that it's worth, and of course, Hollywood Studios is tough because there's so many top-end rides. So many of them. Last post, Poppy says again. Let's see. In my disease, tumors grow through the body in me. They mainly affect my brain, skin, and kidney. Jesus Christ, Poppy, that's awful. Jeez, that's terrible. Oh, Gabe. Yikes. My mom is officially cancer-free, so we're thinking of scattering her ashes by the ocean or maybe keep them in an urn. Em says they're just spiders. Oh, Em. I can tell, well, we went, the one Disney trip we took, I think I told you guys, we went over to Universal. So we went on, I don't remember which one it was, but Universal has great 4D rides. They really do. We're on the one, I don't remember which one it was that had this. And of course, none of us had ever been on it, so we didn't know what to expect. And the 4D is good. It's really immersive. You really feel it. You're in your cart riding. Well, the ride is full of thrills. Everybody's screaming and yelling. It's loud as hell. All of a sudden, we come around this one corner, and this giant-ass spider just comes down right in front of you and stares you in the face. We had a big group with us. Every person, you're spread out to the left and right of one another. Every person in that place heard my wife scream over the din. And she's not somebody that usually, she's not somebody that screams on rides a lot. Anyway, I never saw a reaction like that in my life. I thought she blew out her voice box or something. She was terrible. Never again. I'm not going on that ever again. She's going, and she likes rides. Time Link says, "How did the van situation work out?" Good time for that question. My wife was today just talking to the guy. Now I told you guys, obviously everything with New York State is going to be like pulling teeth. Well, we've come all the way through to where now, for those who don't know, we're talking about getting the lift put into our van for my stepdaughter for her wheelchair. All the bids are in. The low bid, and I don't know how they manage this, is a company in Georgia. Now, when they put in their bid, they had to put into the bid getting the van to them and back. So when they told me about this, I told my wife, I said, tell them, no, we're not putting those kind of miles on our van to get the lift put in. That's crazy. That's insane when there are companies around here that'll do it. And she said, nope, they're aware of that they can't do that. So they will pick the van up on a car carrier, bring it there, they'll put the lift in, and then they'll bring it back. So I'm like, okay, if they really think they can make money doing it that way. So she was just talking to the guy down in Georgia. Well, no, actually she didn't get him. She was leaving a message for him because he wasn't in earlier today before I started the stream. So that should be pretty much the final step. Once we make arrangements with them, they'll take it. Once the lift gets put in, of course, I'll make a video for all you guys and show it to you. So we should be in the home stretch. And I always say should be because you got the state involved, and who knows what could screw things up. But it certainly looks like we're on the finally getting towards the end here. Yeah, Chrome, I can't figure out how they were the low bid because it's up to them. It's not like the state isn't sending our van down to them. They have to pay for it. So I don't know how they came in as low bidders, but they did. There's at least two companies we know of. We're not given privy to who bids, but we know of two companies here locally that do it, and I'm sure they bid. And somehow this company in Georgia undercut them. Oh, Chrome, it's so unnecessarily complicated, the Genie Plus. I get it, but it feels like there's better ways to do it. So it's $15 a ride then or for the full day. Gotta need to pay a service charge. Well, no, what it is now again, it's way unnecessarily complicated, Chrome. When you pay the $15, that gives you access. Say you're going into Magic Kingdom, just for shits and giggles. That gives you access to all those rides, but those two premier rides for that day. And what I mean by that is they start taking them at 7 o'clock. So you'll want to get up at 7. That sucks too, because some of them go fast. You want to have a plan, get up at 7 a.m. And what did I say, Magic Kingdom? So at Magic Kingdom, you would probably want to look for something like, if you want to do it, Peter Pan's Flight. Believe it or not, Peter Pan's Flight gets long-ass lines. So at 7, you get up, boom, you get a Peter Pan's Flight. Now, the park doesn't open typically till 9. So you can make another one with your Genie Plus, another reservation after you ride the ride, or 2 hours. So that time at 9, while you're in the park, boom, make another one. You'll want to hit, off the top of my head. It depends on what you want to do. The ones you don't need to make reservations for there are like Mickey's PhilharMagic, which is a lot of fun but doesn't get long rides. Winnie the Pooh is hit and miss. But also, at 7 a.m. on that day, you're going to want to do Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. That is an extra charge. So at 7 a.m., you'd go in. If you want Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, it'll cost you, it depends day to day, anywhere from like $9 to $11 per person to get that one as well. It's so unnecessarily complicated. But especially as it gets closer too, because you never know what changes they might make. I'll be happy. We can even, if you want, we can even get together on Discord or wherever's comfortable for you, and the two of us can just talk, and I can answer any of your questions you have for you, because it does help you have a good time there if you have a good plan because of the way they make things complicated. But the one thing I can tell you is the employees there are phenomenal, and they'll help you. Oh, it's you're right, Lex. She says all these changes to the fast pass system make me feel bad for all the boomer parents going to Disney with their kids. Yeah, it is. It's tough. I mean, people, and even some, not even necessarily boomers, just people going not realizing how complicated it is. And I got to give Universal credit. Universal has something similar, but theirs costs even more. But what they tell you is if you buy this, you get to do the fast lane rides all day on anything you want. Simple. Do you want for them? Do you want to pay for it or you don't want to pay for it? Disney's got to do everything a la carte here. Hey, great meatball. Good to see you. He says, hello, Curtis. I've been more or less following you since like 2018. Very rarely been to your streams. Almost never commented. Came to say thank you for everything and maybe to hang out a bit. Well, I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did. Come hang out with us anytime. But meatball, unless now it's always possible too. Unless there was another great meatball, I have seen you comment here or there because the name was familiar. But again, unless there was another one. M says someone mentioned Jessica Rabbit. Where's Ludo? I didn't see that mention. Big Green says, my favorite lie of Hogan's is when he said that Andre the Giant died shortly after their big match. Did he? Oh, who knows with Hogan? Yeah, Gimster says, try to get the pretty lady who lives in your house to visit Australia and South America. There's no spiders in those places, right? That's what I was saying, Gimster. She will not go to Australia now. She wanted to. That was on her list of places she really wanted to visit. She absolutely will not go. She saw those pictures and those videos. She's like, nope, fuck it. Not doing it. Chrome says, I think I'm understanding it now. Hopefully we need to pay per person for everyone to do a ride. So 6 people would be $90 a day, correct? And a roaming charge, huh? Was last there... A roaming charge, huh? Was last there when building... Oh, Seven Dwarfs ride. Gotcha. Yeah, and that's... I always follow wait times and stuff because we're nerds, Chrome. So as it gets closer for you, I'll be able to tell you too which rides are trending upward. Now, you'll be there. I haven't been on it yet too. The Tron ride is opening really soon in Magic Kingdom. That looks phenomenal. Phenomenal. Now, I think they'll have to do a replacement job there because I think they're going to have to put Tron as a premium ride so something else won't be. But I'll keep tabs on that too. But again, there are some, fuck off, Chain. The best thing I can help you is I can tell you which rides you don't want to waste any of your Genie Plus on because the lines aren't that bad. That's an important piece of knowledge to carry with you at each park. And then there are some where it's like, yes, even though there's that extra premium charge, it's well worth the money. And to me, that's clearly Rise of the Resistance. I think Seven Dwarfs Mine Train was too. That's not as easily on everybody's list to be worth it. But I think Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is an excellent coaster. Its only gimmick is, and it's really cool, it's the first coaster where every car moves independently from the others. And it does give you a cool ride because of that. Sweet Dude says Tron bumper cars would be the most genius money maker. Oh, I always loved Tron, Sweet Dude, when the movie came out and the video game when it was in arcades. I mean, long before you had home video gaming. I love that Tron game. But if you haven't seen the work on it, when you're on the excuse me, the People Mover in Magic Kingdom, which was just a real slow moving ride that takes you around Future World, you get a good view of the work they're doing on Tron. So if you catch any YouTube, you can catch YouTube videos of it, Chrome. It looks like it's going to be amazing. Chrome says, yeah, I mean, I was last at Disney when they were building Seven Dwarfs. I remember that. It's been a long time. Usually we go Universal, but we're not doing it this time. It's Disney instead. Well, you'll, again, I don't want to give anybody the wrong impression, especially if you're thinking about a Disney trip. Because I'm pissed at Bob Chapek, it's still a phenomenal vacation spot. It really is. I mean, and that's due not only to their attractions, but to their employees. The cast members are phenomenal. Just remember, Chrome, too. I'm going to watch for your response, Chrome. How many do you have in your party? Before I give you this next piece of advice, depends on how many you're bringing with you. Let's see. Sweet Dude says, I think we have the technology to make an actual Tron combat in real life. Setting up virtual sensors and making a light trail that can disable cars that go through it would be amazing. Oh, I loved that. Loved that movie and loved the game even more. Oh, that was such a great game. I couldn't tell you how many freaking quarters I pumped into the into that game when it came out into the arcades. 5 adults and 1 4-year-old. Okay, good to know. Okay, Chrome. So when you get to the airport, because the Magical Express is gone. Used to be you got free transportation to the resort. Now they put some. There are still buses available because that train line they're building won't be done by the time you get there. There's still buses available. A company called Mirrors runs them down there. Now most people just buy the Mirrors ticket. With having, you said it's 5 and 1. Yep, 5 and 1. Hint I can give you to save some money right off the top. When you leave the airport, or when you get in the airport, when you get your bags, instead of just going to that Mirrors coach, if you go outside, and they're all over the place, you'll see them. If you go outside to the Mirrors stand, there will be people in a stand that says Mirrors. It's the transportation company. Ask them for one of their big vans. You'll pay less for that van to bring you to your hotel than you will for that bus. And the bus, you're going to stand in a line waiting for it. You don't know when it'll come in, and you're going to have to deal with a bunch of other people and getting your bags on and off the bus. You go out and you get one of their big vans. It costs less, and it takes you right there, and they'll get it for you. Usually, when you go to the Mirror stand and you ask the attendant for, tell them how many you got. We got 5 adults, 1 child. We're going to whatever resort you're going to. Usually they'll have it called and over to you in 3 or 4 minutes. But that was something I discovered on my own, and we saved a nice little chunk of change doing it that way. Did the same thing on the way back. Got the Mirrors van. Also, you might want to make sure, just for your own benefit, make sure you have Lyft or Uber as well on your phone. I prefer Lyft just because there's so many Lyft drivers down there, and there always were. Lyft rates are super, super cheap down there. Super cheap. So if you just need to get someplace quick and you don't want to wait for the bus, this, that, or the other, typically from one spot to another in Disney, it's $10, $11 for a Lyft. Sadhu-san says, where's your favorite anime? Depends on what I'm in the mood for. I mean, I have an elite list that always includes Hunter x Hunter, One Piece, a bunch of them, a whole bunch of them in a lot of different genres. All depends on what I'm in the mood for at the time. Kaiser says, sometimes I wonder if I am on the spectrum myself or just really sheltered. Common sense can be a miss for me. I can't come up with my own jokes, but then I had 2 heart surgeries in all my 20s. Oh, man, that sucks, Kaiser. 2 heart surgeries already? That sucks. Chrome says, I need to ask my dad how we're getting there. It's one of the hotels on the strip with the wheel. We've used the hotels on that strip a ton, but I can't remember the name. Now, it's a Disney hotel, or are you staying off-site, Chrome? I'm not sure what you mean. Is it one of Disney's properties, or are you staying off Disney property? Yeah, just to make, I always point that out because a lot of people are so used to having that Magical Express, they don't realize it's gone. They killed it the first of this year. Oh. Poppy says, yeah, at some point I'm going to go back to Amsterdam. A, because it's a beautiful place. B, the Dutch are so polite. C, I want to go to the Anne Frank house again. And D, weed. Okay. It is medically proven that regular ejaculations greatly reduce the risk of prostate cancer. Call them health nuts. Oh, okay. It is off-site. We're not constant Disney would get a bit much for us. We don't spend much time in hotels. I don't know the off-site hotels that well to tell you for sure, Chrome. But okay, just cancel out what I said about Mirrors then. No, as far as Mirrors transportation. Because that's they have those buses are designed to go specifically to the resort. So yes, you'll have to find your own way there, which I don't know what your dad has planned, but when you guys look into it, make sure and check too, depending on what it's tough because you'd have to pay for parking then. I was going to say, normally before the pandemic, rental car rates in Orlando were really, really cheap because there's so much competition. Really cheap. But you would have the parking cost every day, so that kind of sucks. Now, be careful too, Chrome. If you're thinking money, remember too, a lot of people don't realize this, you need to get a really good deal on your off-site hotel to come out ahead. Because, and again, I'm just thinking for you guys on your behalf, to come out ahead monetarily. Because once you're on site and you have access to Disney transportation and everything, you're not paying the parking fees, and Disney always has some sort of offers going, and a lot of times you can get really cheap deals. So make sure you're getting a really good deal on your off-site hotel, because there's a lot of little extras that you can cut out by staying on Disney property. And the I forget what they call them, but the bargain rate resorts at Disney are not as expensive as a lot of people think they are. And again, I'm not, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to get you to do one or the other. I'm just talking about strictly financially. Green is actually the main character of Human Centipede 3. Oh, okay. You said, Chrome says, we're used to Ford at this point, thankfully. We just haven't done Disney in a long time. We don't drive in Florida, just buses, taxis, and we did do Uber a couple times last time. Yeah, like I say, the Uber Lyft rates are really reasonable. It's tough to find ones that big because you have 6 going, but they are really inexpensive. Hen says, love how 90% of the stream is someone's boring Disney trip. Well, Hen, you're more than welcome to leave. That's kind of some rude commentary. First of all, it wasn't close to 90%, but I'm not going to defend that. And it's not just somebody's. It's one of our mods and a friend to all of us here who's been with us for a very long time. And if it's boring to you, by all means, feel free. There's doors all over the place. Take any one of them that suits you. Louis says, Shale Sonnen voice, Curtis Candy, you absolutely suck. All right, throwing out a promo on me, are we? Kaiser says, he's talking about his heart operations. Yeah, my first was when I was an infant. Aorta stenosis. It involves the narrowing of aorta valve walls and a blood leakage. God damn. I was the first infant to have the procedure and survive. Second was at 13, 14. Jesus Christ, dude, that sucks. Chrome says, I think last time we went, literally every taxi driver had a story about how they kicked Trump out of their cab. Looks says more plainly, why don't you fuck off, buddy, old pal? FB2 says, hey, Spaz Daddy, I'm qualified for free tuition at ASU Online for doing 1,000 Uber Eats deliveries with 95% above customer rating. I didn't know that was a thing. That's cool. No need to apply, but I'll be procrastinating. Very good. Good for you. I didn't know that was a thing. Well done. Let's see. Poppy says, I volunteer in a charity shop. 1 year ago, I wouldn't have gone on the shop without someone I knew with me. Gabe says, I was sending letters to a kid with cancer. Told him the road ahead will be filled with bumps and dips, but soon it'll straighten out. No one noticed I was talking about his heart rate monitor. What the fuck? Gabe, you're on a roll today. Jesus Christ. Jeff says, would you rather kill Hanji's 2 titans or steal Mikasa's scarf from Attack on Titan? I ain't stealing Mikasa's scarf. Fuck that. I know when I get my ass beat. I'm not your buddy, guy. Tell him, Philip. And this is coming from a real Canadian. So it sticks. Yeah, that's good. I like freaking South Park. Isn't it bizarre how they just decided to go after the Canadians too and do it so relentlessly? Chrome says the one thing I've considered but highly on the fence about is maybe paying for the Disney Castle meal thing. I'm not made of money, but it sounds like an experience. But God, it would cost a mint. It is expensive. Whether it's worth it or not is depends on how big a deal the castle is to you. Is it? It's amazingly cool inside, very cool. I If you like the interactions with the princesses, Chrome, I would wait and see right now, or when we went there last anyway, and I believe it's still right now, it's only Cinderella, and she just comes out and waves and stuff. Now, back in the day, there were 4 or 5 of the princesses, and they would all come out, and they would come to your table and take pictures and everything. If you're big into the castle, that castle is beautiful. The food is very good, but it is pricey. When they have them all come out and you get those character interactions, you have those really good pictures to bring home with you, it helps justify the value a lot. But it is very cool in there. Very cool. Lick says, I heard recently there was a 6-hour lines for some collector's popcorn bucket. You're correct. Figment, of all things. And the scalpers were buying 10 of them a pop, sell on eBay along with the other shit they bulk bought. Well, Disney finally did something about that, Licks. Now you can only buy 2 per, but of course the scalpers get friends to come in. And so, like you say, they end up with 10. Yeah, it was a Figment popcorn bucket, because they always have popcorn buckets. For some reason, the Figment one took off. And Figment is a favorite character of Spaz Kids. But what happened for us was we had this friend of ours that my wife went to Disney with. The 2 of them went on a girls' trip a while back. She has a shopper down there. There's shoppers that will go into Disney World for you to try and get stuff on your behalf. And her shopper got some, and she just bought them because people were getting ripped off for them. So this woman that is a shopper for him she's a sweetheart. And so she said, listen, anybody that does business with me, if you want to buy it from me, give me $5 over what it cost. Because they're selling for like $250 on eBay. So my wife said, yeah, well, if you're good with that, I'll take one. So Brax actually has one of those, but we got it for $5 over what it costs instead of spending $250 on it. I played World of Warcraft before, Conan, way back years ago. It's fun. I liked I liked WoW, but I played it some time ago. Yeah, me either, Johnny. No 6-hour lines. Nope. But yeah, it was that's the one it was. It was the Figment bucket. Chrome says, so no photos at the moment, at least. I need to recheck the price, of course, right? But I'm pretty sure it's like 100 pounds a person, which would burn a ton. I've been to Michelin star restaurants cheaper. Yeah, that one, you're entirely, excuse me, Chrome. You're entirely paying for the experience of the castle. The food is good. Again, I can't state that enough. The food is really good. The food in Beast Castle, it's called Be Our Guest Restaurant, used to be great. They entirely reshook the menu. I'm not a big fan, but that's to individual taste. But the food in Beast Castle, or in Cinderella Castle, is very good. And when they have all the princesses there and they can come to your table, I mean, I wouldn't have done it for myself, but for my girls, for my wife, my granddaughter, my daughter, they all love the princesses and stuff. So it was well worth it. I don't regret spending the money at all. We got some really great pictures, had a really great time. But that is a big differing factor. And I'm hoping by October that'll be back. Gyarados says, someone did an analysis about Rattata from Pokemon being able to beat Goku. I don't know anything about Pokemon characters. That sounds outrageous to me, but... would you sleep with Granny Chio from Naruto? Again? Why is she asking for it again? They get addicted, Lewis. Oh, guys, I gotta go. Wow, this is a long stream. I had a really good time with this. I didn't realize how late it had gotten. My wife and I got some stuff we got to do down the road a little bit. So as soon as my daughter comes to pick up the grandkids, we got to go. Thank you for the stream. This one was a lot of fun. I always have a really good time with these. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me so much. Again, just lifts my day. And there will be an evening stream coming up soon because I really want to do a writing session and have you guys with me for any who want to help out because I got a lot of stuff I'm hung up on. So, but guys, thank you for this. This is a great hump day. Oh, can I say hump day, Susan? This is a great hump day stream. And I like calling it hump day because I don't give a shit about that camel from the commercials. We know what hump day means. That even grossed me out a little bit. But here it comes. It's going to be, oh, goose, goodbye indeed, Gimster, because it's going to be some hump day sticky stuff. That might be redundant. Every sticky stuff day is kind of a hump day if you think about it. But here it comes anyway. Pamfu, sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you. Go bang, okay? Flashing like Buggy. And as always, most importantly, and it's always got a little bit of hump to it. Goose. Ah, goose.